Right, okay. Okay, so we're going to have a quick 10 minutes talking about the 30 days plan.
Yay.
Because that was over a week ago.
Yep.
And all has been 80% good since then.
A little bit of backsliding.
Yeah, and so what I wanted to ask you was, initially, why are you so glad you did the 30 days in May? No, go with that. Go with that.
Yeah, okay. The reason I'm glad is because I lost some weight. I've been looking to lose weight. I also, for while I was doing it, had a nicely structured diet, which was nicely balanced and kept me topped up to an extent. So I wasn't getting the highs and sugar lows and everything. So I wasn't skipping breakfast and then not having any lunch because I worked through it, and then being over hungry in the evening and eating too much in the evening. So anyway, just planned it out because it put a regime on things, which was helpful.
Yeah. No, you did really well with that. Your work bag was very heavy.
Yes. Stuffed full of candy bars and or nutrition bars, fizz sticks. And,
yes.
And the occasional protein drink.
Yes. Just briefly, how were you feeling before you started it at the beginning of May? What was the situation?
Yeah, just too heavy and rough and just tired, very fatigued, and very imbalanced. Obviously, the giving up bread and giving up alcohol was a big part of it as well, because I've supplemented my diet with bread, just as casual snacking, and because it's not biscuits, you don't think about it, but it does. It all adds up.
Yeah. Yeah, you weren't feeling well because we were dealing with you know, looking at going on tablets for high blood pressure and all that sort of thing.
Bobs, a bit of acid reflux,
So, yeah.
which would have also been connected with diet.
Yeah.
Which I'm off now.
So it was difficult to know quite what to do at that point, and how much to do, because we'd been trying the nutrition for a little while, hadn't we? Bits and bobs.
You'd have a shake every now and then.
Yeah.
I'd never committed to it.
Yeah.
Which I think is the difference when you say this is how it's going to be day. Then you really get the benefits, because it builds up. It's cumulative. So as it goes on, your condition improves.
Yeah.
You know.
I think and when you do obviously invest in a box like that, because you pay for it outright. Initially you think, this is quite a bit, but actually it's not, because it works out per day very cheap, and also it does get you into a regime. It focuses the mind, doesn't it? That's what you were saying before, and you sort of on a mission then to prove to yourself that you can do it.
Yeah, and if you carry on, then in theory, I guess it gets better and better.
Yeah. So how did you start off on the first few days? You mentioned about taking protein shakes and that to work. So what were the simple things that you did? It's mainly in the morning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just having that was pretty useful because they're very easy to make.
Yeah.
I often start very early, so I'm getting the train before you'd normally have breakfast. So a sort of sizable breakfast wouldn't be practical. So the shake was a good thing. You can make it up quickly. If you're up in time, you have it at home, and if you're not, you can take it and drink it on the train. Then protein bar for lunch, a fizz stick to pick you up in the afternoon, and then something, a lovely dinner in the evening.
Yeah.
You can flip, if I was up early enough, you can flip it round, maybe have avocado in the morning, and then take a protein shake for lunch, fizz stick in the afternoon, off you go.
Yeah. We tried the avocado smoothie bowls and stuff, didn't we? When you had time. That was quite fun.
Well, you can put the fibre, you can put the extra fibre in with the protein shakes.
Yeah.
So that bulks that up a little bit, makes it a bit more filling, satisfying, whatever the word is. Did that a few times, and also occasionally blended some of the nutritional supplements into the avocado
Yeah.
to make it like avocado porridge. That was that worked out.
Yeah.
That worked out right.
And you
Didn't do
did
anything
the main things were the Digestive Plus, fibre support, and one of the others.
Digestive Plus, fibre support. There's the
greens balance.
Green
Yeah,
balance.
but there was something. I thought there was something, or maybe it was the cleanse that you did during a lunch break or something a few times, didn't you?
Didn't we do? I used to have the tea
Yeah.
instead of having regular tea with soy milk.
Yeah.
I have the fennel and licorice and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
That works all right. And I like the cleanse. I would have that instead of tea when I was at work. I didn't have. You're supposed to mix it with like a litre of water, but my cup isn't big enough. So I used to make it up just to the size of my cup, which is probably about half what it should be. So it's twice as strong in theory, but it was nice because it's very punchy.
Double impact.
It just it tastes quite sharp. The ginger is quite, Anyway, it works well. I found it easier to drink it like that because I can't carry a litre of
no,
liquid
that's
around
right.
with me during the day.
No.
But my flask.
Just to highlight there that
I
you're a
always have
key
with me.
worker, so you're on the move all the time. So
Well,
that's
if you carry a litre of liquid with you all day, it's an extra kilo that you're carrying, and my bag is already.
You'd have to be doing that on both sides, I
My
guess.
bag is already very heavy.
Over the initial period of 30 days, did you start to feel a change, both physically and mentally? Was there something, obviously, leaving out the bread, cheese, beer, wine, and all of that stuff? Did you find that you had a clearer head while you were walking through London, or
Never have a clear head in London.
No.
That's not one of them, is. But yes, I mean, I felt better. I slept better.
Yeah.
Slept longer and deeper, which was nice. And the losing, I didn't lose a huge amount of weight, but what I did was important, because I was very much aware I was the heaviest I've ever been. I'm not the heaviest I've ever been. I'm still too heavy. Keep moving in that direction, kind of thing. But when you know you've never been so big, that drags you down a bit.
It's
and
the first lump.
It's more stuff you're carrying around.
Yeah, it's the first lump that's the hardest, isn't it?
First time is the hardest to get rid
of. The turning point came when your blood pressure started to lower, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we we went into lockdown. Quite, May was pretty restrictive, and so we started exercising, and how did the various things that we did?
That was another.
Did that help?
The hours exercise a day, the government mandated hours exercise a day. I kind of got vaguely obsessed with that, so I was making a point of doing that, and that helped as well. Especially when I wasn't doing, because I think for quite a bit of the 30 days I wasn't working in London in the way I normally would, in so much that I wasn't walking around from site to site or visiting loads of different sites in a day. When I was working, I was just driving to a single site, getting out, doing the work, and then driving back, kind of thing. So that was nice, and it is actually nicer walking around the Sussex countryside than it is walking around Stoke Newington. Who'd have thought?
Yeah, I can see that. I can certainly understand you. We did lots of
We had some lovely walks,
dancing and walking,
and we did some ridiculous dancing, yes,
and all that stuff. Yeah. Just touch on why this plan's for anybody. You're not. We used to do the gym a lot. We don't anymore. you are very physical with your job, but you found it very difficult to lose weight over the last few
It's
years.
just working,
So
working is not exercise.
it's a different thing,
It's
yeah.
really weird. You can work until you're absolutely exhausted and you won't lose any weight or tone up. I don't know how that works. Never really understood it.
No, it's very weird.
Um,
So what, for people that, whether they're sitting at home, whether they're doing a very manual physical job, whether they're, whatever the situation is, why would you suggest that?
It's all very easy to
relative.
introduce into your routine. Well, in fact, routine, that's part of it, is putting a routine in place.
Yeah.
Because if you kind of drift from meal to meal and pick up whatever you fancy, and a lot of the shopping, another thing that's changed in lockdown is we tend to be shopping with a definite purpose, which is interesting. Whereas I must admit, a habit that we used to have was we would buy enough food for 48 hours because I was working in London. I would pass the big Tesco's every night anyway, so in theory I could go shopping every night.
Yeah.
So just go and see what you fancy and eat that. So there wasn't any real structure on what we were doing. Whereas getting loads of veg in and making the veggie bakes up and having dinners in mind.
More intentional,
days in
isn't it?
advance. Yeah, just more organised.
Yeah. Yeah. And it is very much about those very small steps, and for people that have never experienced anything like this before, you shouldn't suffer the overwhelm with the entire box of nutrition, even though we'd highly recommend the entire thing because that's where your structure is. But it is those tiny little steps each day.
If you find, I don't know. I don't know how many different items there are in the box, but you've got the Fizz-Tix to protein shakes, the Green Balance, digestion. There's I guess 10 different items in there.
Oh yeah,
maybe,
yeah. At least, yeah.
If there's one or two of those that you don't find as satisfying as the rest, then you'll just use them less often. At the end of the 30 days, you'll have something left over, simply because that doesn't suit your taste or doesn't suit your, but the rest of it you just make up around it.
Yeah.
It's not about everything having to be everything you've ever wanted.
Yeah.
I found enough in there to be getting on with. I think is it the Green Balance that has a slight sweetness to it?
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm
we did that in avocado a few times.
Person. That funny enough.
You are a savoury and bitter person.
Yeah, for me that works. The Greens Balance worked better in the protein shake than it did with the avocado in a savoury setting, because the sweetness. It's like we have two different soy milks. I just have standard soy drink, and you have the Alpro soy, which has a tiny bit of sugar in it. But that tiny bit of sugar just means I can't
ruins it for you. Yeah. That's good.
So, but also that's so you learn. You learn what you like. Everything.
And I think
it's a bit like learning to cook again to an extent.
Yeah.
You're going to make some dishes up that are less successful than others, but overall, I enjoyed it.
And I think a couple of things on that. Is that yes, your taste does slightly change because you suddenly start to desire things that are less. You're not particularly sweet person, and I'm very sweet. I started to, once I'd had the protein shake in the morning, I didn't desire so much sugar for the rest of the day. That just seemed to be how it worked out. And also, you talked about healthy meals, and we have always sort of done quite interesting things and more vegan as we've gone along. But did you find that got more creative?
It's always been pretty good. I think you become you do focus down on that meal because that's your meal for the day.
Yeah.
And if you have not got biscuits or cakes or trifle or if that is your meal, everything else is is getting you through and is all perfectly satisfying, but that is your meal, so you become a bit more definitely a bit more creative about it.
Yeah.
This is where you celebrate when you sit down and eat, and it's the time when we sit down and eat together. So.
Yeah. So in the year 2000.
In fact, it was the weekends that we used to more often than not. It was at the weekend that we'd make up the protein shakes with the avocado and mess around with the actual Arbonne stuff.
Yeah.
Because we'd be having it together.
Yeah.
Whereas often during the week
and then you
very
just
early
yeah
or whatever and all that kind of
you
stuff.
do the protein
Saturday, Sunday we'd do something
fast.
interesting. Or have have a sort of proper breakfast on Sunday morning and have a protein shake for your midday meal, or in place of your midday meal.
Yeah.
And then roasted veg in the evening.
Okay.
Very pleasant.
So 20 years ago you were running marathons, just to highlight that.
Yes, it was 20 years ago, yes.
And we worked out that you were about 10.5 stone.
I run one every 100 years. Yes, ran one in 1999 and
Yeah.
ran one in 2001, I think.
Yeah. And you
Most others.
were very, very slim then. You did go on a sort of slim, fast shake diet at one point through stress.
That was quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was. I mean, that's a kind of, that's kind of protein shake as well.
Mm.
So that was when I was working up at Sellafield.
Yeah.
And it was just a case of I couldn't be bothered to eat. So I'd have the shake in the morning, and it involved no cooking and it'd get you through to Sunday lunchtime, whatever. But that was much less balanced.
Yeah.
I lost weight on it, but that was more through neglect rather than a well structured diet.
So, bearing in mind what you've discovered with the Arbonne 30 days, and with regards to sort of giving up all the beers and all that sort of thing, what would be your advice for key workers and men that are doing very physical jobs with regards to keeping you going throughout the day as far as your feeling?
No, there's no reason why you can't do it using the Arbonne products. Like I say, the protein shake with the extra fibre in. If you get that, the mixer that you use. If you're putting the fibre powder in with the protein shake, it's probably worth using a stick blender or an electric blender to really smooth it out. Because in the shaker it can come out a little bit lumpy because you got the two in together. But if you give it a whiz with that, then it comes out lovely and smooth, and that's like a bowl of porridge, isn't it?
They're very filling, and you can add so much to them, can't you?
The protein shake is pretty filling in itself, and if you put the fibre supplement in it as well, then that turns it into a proper breakfast meal.
Yeah,
it'll float you through till lunch, no problem.
Yeah, and the acid reflux wasn't so obvious, was it? You weren't being sick.
I stopped taking the omeprazole or whatever it was. So that's nice. It's always nice to stop taking a tablet. I don't know whether that was driven by glucose intolerance or being a celeriac or whatever it is. Celeriac. Or whether it was purely just cutting out the booze. I'm sure that would have had quite an effect. And it was a week or so ago. I finished, and of course when you come out the other end, let's have a party, so you do. So you have a few beers and you have a pizza, and it's it's nice, but you just you think, you then remember, I now remember, why I stopped eating pizzas and stopped drinking beer.
Yeah, that's it. And going on to that and what you've just said, we finished the 30 days, had a celebration, and then you very quickly said, ongoing in June, I want to carry on doing the 80-20 or whatever. When I'm Monday to Friday in London, I want to take the protein shakes and the protein bars and fizz sticks and all these things. So, do you feel like you're the mindset changed pretty quick because you felt so much better on it. Um,
It's yeah.
it
You just
felt
feel
much
better.
easier at that point because you'd done it enough.
You feel a bit lighter. Your digestion's working better. You're sleeping better, so you feel better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's work has increased since I've finished, so that's an interesting one. So I'm that coincided with the sort of work very much picked up towards the end of the 30 days, I guess.
Yeah.
So I had a very busy week, and I was also indulging some of the bad habits that I'd had prior to that, and I got very tired. You know that.
Mm.
So the idea of being able to work a Monday to Friday, and then feel nice and sparky at the weekend, so you can get lots done and be full of energy, that definitely appeals to me. Because there's a lot of times you lose a day at the weekend because you're just recovering from your week, and that's not how it's supposed to be, is it?
And it's easy to sort of just get back on a Friday and feel you want to have some sort of fast food and a number of beers and just sort of crash out, isn't
It's
it?
easy to get back on a Friday. You're already tired. You'll drink a couple of bottles of wine and have a pizza, and then excellent. You're bloated. You're bloated. You're sedated. What a great way to start the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'll stick with. I think I'll try and stick with it. I mean, the other thing, the 30 days, the 30 days kit has we had some of the shake before anyway. We'd already had some of that, but there's still
loads left.
There's still loads left.
Yeah.
So we've done the 30 days. So let's do might as well use it up, as they say. And the protein shakes we've got the chocolate one left. So instead of, because I can't get on with chocolate in the morning, doesn't make sense to me. So I've started taking those to work and having them during the day. So a lighter breakfast.
You just sort of shift it, don't you, depending on what it is. Yeah, you just sort of find your rhythm, I think.
Yeah, you can
as it goes on.
You can have a bit of variety. Have shake for breakfast 3 mornings a week, and have a proper. When I say proper breakfast, either have porridge or avocado or whatever.
Yeah, and I think it just makes you much more consciously aware of your actions and what you're choosing, and it's very difficult if you're in a rush. But I think once you've done something once, and
you're thinking about it. The protein shakes are really easy to mix up.
Yeah.
At work, all you need is there's a water cooler pretty much everywhere, or a tap certainly anywhere you need. So you don't have to buy anything additional. They don't go off.
No.
And if you've got them with you, then you're not going to buy. You're not going to go to a Greggs and get a vegan sausage roll.
No.
Because they say vegan sausage roll, but I'm pretty sure they're full of goodness.
No, exactly.
Well, possibly not. They taste too much like sausage rolls to be full of
They
goodness.
do.
So that sort of disorganised snacking goes out.
When you've had one of the shakes, you just feel set up, don't you?
Yeah.
You just don't. All the sort of desire for other things goes away.
Gets you through the rest of the day.
Yeah, and just sort of highlight again that for anybody and people that have never done something like this and that think it's a huge ordeal and it's just all too much.
It's not a punishment.
It's not a punishment. It's about very tiny baby steps, isn't it? Every day, just seeing those very tiny wins that you've actually made an effort to try one thing. So that you're going to go back again and try something else.
Work with all the stuff.
Yeah.
Find what you like. If you don't like the chai protein shake, then just don't get it.
Yeah.
In fact, try them before you.
Yeah.
Before you go for the whole month package. Try the chocolate, the chai, the vanilla. Make sure that you've got 2 of them that you like.
Yeah.
I mean, I happen to like them all, but because that's the sort of backbone of what you're going to hang the rest of it on.
Yeah, that is the key thing.
Enjoy creating the main meals, and focus on those. I mean, in our case, focus on those being, fresh and vegan.
And it was that's the one thing I'll finish with is the fact that we made it fun. I think, that's the secret, isn't it? If you find it a sort of a miserable experience, you very easily sort of turn away from it. But
well, if you look at the pictures of the dinners that we made, then some of them are success. Some of them are fun. Some of them are interesting.
Yeah.
But they were all fun making.
Yes.
And we had to eat them all. And all I need to do now is put my cat onto the 30 days.
What you doing?
Because he's
What you
huge.
doing?
Because he's mahoosive.
Okay. Thank you for talking to me.
No problem whatsoever. Let's do it again.
Let's do it.